Hello and welcome to our Reboot review. I'm Paul,
And I'm Dave.
and this week we're discussing the episode In the Belly of the Beast. This episode originally aired December 3rd, 1994 in both Canada and the US. Why the last episode was delayed in Canada, I still don't know.
Yeah.
Number one song in America this week, Dave. Any guesses?
Has it actually changed from the last week, or we still have a bit of a wait?
No, it has changed.
My dear God, then I have absolutely no idea. Because despite the fact having the couple particular bands that I listened to at the young age, I have no idea what supposedly was popular at around the time.
Well, the song changed, but the band didn't. It's On Bended Knee by Boyz II Men.
Okay. Whether or not I could actually remember that song, I don't know.
Alrighty, so moving along to number one film in America this week, Dave. Alright, we're into December. It's time for a Christmas movie. What are we thinking?
Is it actually a Christmas movie, or are you just leading me on?
No, it's a legitimate like Christmas movie, like a family. Everybody go to the theater with the kids. It's a family Christmas movie.
Then the only one particular thing that kind of comes to mind, it could be right, could be wrong, is it was the start of the Santa Claus movie with Tim Allen.
You are correct. That was the number one film in America this week, although it's on its like fourth week of release, which is weird. But okay. But yeah, it is the Santa Claus with Tim Allen.
Yes. Because, oh boy, that was a thing. It's still technically a thing. It became a new thing. And I'm kind of sitting here like, oh dear God, what did they do?
Oh yeah, because there was that Disney Plus series last year.
Yeah, and it's still going.
Uh, okay, well, moving along.
Yes.
All right. So here's the deal with this episode, and fill in the parts that I leave out because I had. Okay.
Oh dear. Is Paul having an issue that this is surprisingly enough an Enzo-centric episode?
Hmm. So Frisket swallows a valuable command. Megabyte captures him in order to remove it. They go inside his Tower of Evil thingy.
Yes.
However, Frisket and Enzo prove to be more than Megabyte bargained for. Maybe he should actually hire competent guards rather than hack and slash because they're idiots, even though I adore them.
It wouldn't hurt.
Also, there's a really good Jurassic Park reference in this episode.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm a little confused on which one.
Okay, you know where they have Frisket in the like containment box thing,
Yes.
and all the like the programs are like jamming in with those rods and stuff.
Oh, yes, with all those.
Yeah, it's the same. It's basically the same thing that they do to the raptor at like the beginning of Jurassic Park.
Okay.
So I enjoyed that. But then
Well,
Enzo was on the episode a lot, and I was like, oh god.
yeah. Yeah. But it is so. It's interesting enough with little kid going around causing shenanigans within the evil villain's lair.
I mean, again, this is one of those things where I have to remember this is a show meant for kids. And I'm like, okay, I get why we have a child protagonist, and I get why they want to give him something to do. It's just, can he not be painfully annoying?
There's the possibility, but you might have to wait.
Like, yeah, this episode's fine, I guess, but it's like, I just find Enzo so annoying because he never. Well, I'm not gonna say he never does anything of value, but he rarely does anything of value.
You know, child characters. They need to kind of build up for the things, supposedly.
But there are good child characters in media. This is just a bad one.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
But additionally, the couple points from this episode, one thing I forgot from the last week was a new location within Mainframe was showed up with these two episodes of there's a specific dumping area. So any particular thing that gets deleted or tossed in a recycling bin goes into the trash bin. That's run by a particular Scottish man. That man has issues because one of the frequent customers that comes there is Megabyte because he goes in to see if he can find particular commands to do terrible, terrible things.
Yeah, it's Ian Pearson, or sorry, it's Old Man Pearson, which is named after Ian Pearson, one of the show's creators and a founder of Mainframe Entertainment.
Mm.
So that's kind of fun, I guess.
But additionally, it's also interesting seeing a little bit more of the character Frisket. He was introduced a couple episodes back, but now we get a little bit more image with him interacting with Enzo, getting into shenanigans, and oh man, him just first coming in getting sick for after eating the command. Bob just kind of popping open his nose. He's a little car inside.
I do. I will agree. I did enjoy that bit. I did. I'm okay with Frisket. It's Enzo that annoys me.
Yeah, yeah. But it's also kind of the case of Enzo is the only one person that can kind of calm down Frisket. It's his dog, and he
Yeah.
doesn't like much anybody else.
Yeah. No. Totally. And I'm like the concept of this story. I don't even have a dislike for because I have long wanted. Okay. If I ever get the chance to write for DC Comics, there is one miniseries that I want to do,
Hmm.
and that is I want to write a miniseries like 6 to 12 issues, and it's just young Superboy running around fucking Smallville with Crypto the Superdog getting into mischief.
That sounds marvelous. And I'm
That's
mildly surprised that if it does not exist already, that it really should exist at some particular point because it's the mildly obvious idea.
this could have been something like that though. Like this could have been fun, but it just isn't.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's my biggest problem is I don't feel like there's a sense of fun here.
Okay. Because I had the particular moments of fun and intrigue within the episode, but I can also see the issues that kind of pop up. The one particular one, double checking through my notes, was Enzo and Frisket, while trying to escape through Megabyte's lair, run into the weapon room.
Yeah. I didn't take notes on this episode because I was like, oh god, I have a headache.
Why is this existing? But anywho's, so run into the weapon room. Frisket brings Enzo a weapon. It's like, get ready, little twerps. You're gonna take this, and it shoots out a random inflatable raft. It's like, not surprised, but also a case of why does this gun exist? But then also the case of Frisket pulls out a missile launcher and fires it up on the minions there. But I think it's also a case of a little bit of development with Megabyte's character of with the power that Megabyte had, if he had the motivation to do what he wanted to do, he would have corrupted this system ages ago. But it's a case of his mindset is he needs to be the head leader of things. So despite something he wants to do, he gets a minion to do it.
Yeah, I wish they, and maybe they'll do it in the future, but I wish we would get more about Megabyte because I kind of, like you said, he seems powerful enough to just kind of get rid of all these bozos, and I don't really understand why he doesn't.
And again, it's his mindset. He's so high and mighty with his evil villainy, he needs to be the planner, schemer, and make sure things all go ahead, that he doesn't bother getting his robotic legs and going to do it himself. Because he's the one that collapses the cage that Frisket is in to get him into the experiment thing that they're working on. And he grabs a tank, stops it from moving, and shakes it violently to get Enzo and Frisket out of it.
Yeah, that's my thing. It's like, why does he surround himself with bozos all the time?
Mostly because of his particular virus sort of complex that he has to be the leader, has all this power, but doesn't see the need to dirty his hands to do anything.
I guess I just wish we would get more about like I I get what you're saying. I just wish they would spell it out a little more in the show.
Okay, that's understandable. But again, it's also a nice sort of showcase of yeah, Megabyte has done a couple of silly things, like gotten his minions to do sort of stuff. But if you dealt with him in person and whatnot, yeah, you'd not survive in that encounter.
Yeah, no, they do a very good job of like making it very clear that he's like he's a very powerful enemy, but I think my problem is like his downfall is always these idiots, and he keeps letting these idiots around him. And like I
Yeah,
know what you're saying, like he doesn't necessarily want to dirty his hands, but like maybe just hire better minions.
yeah, so true, so true. But again, I think still the case of kid show,
Yeah,
only
no,
so
fair,
much that they can supposedly do.
fair.
And the silly joke, Frixit or end of the episode, Enzo and Frisket manage to escape. Frisket leads Megabyte a nice little present that he accidentally steps in.
Yes, he steps in dog shit.
It's just kind of the case of end of the episode, everything's all good.
Yeah. So I take it you enjoyed this episode.
No, on whole, it definitely worked out nice with this episode. It had its couple of little moments, interesting sort of things to play around with, but it's also a case of, yeah, I'm not surprised that this episode is not too much placed within my memory. There was about the one or two things that I remembered from this episode, which was Frisket first being sick and Bob looking inside him being like, how does this suppose, is he good or how does this work? And like, one or two other little snippets of the episode. But aside from that, it's like, yeah, I'm not surprised I don't remember you.
Yeah, I like the concept of this episode. Like I like the idea, even though I don't like Enzo as a character, I like the idea of him and like Frisket having like an adventure. Like that's something that like just I have a very soft spot for that kind of story. So I'm
Yeah.
like I like that idea. I just don't think it's done terribly well here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like there should be more of a sense of fun with this episode, and I don't really get that so much. But it's fine, I guess. You know.
Mm.
All right. Was there anything else you wanted to bring up about this episode, Dave?
No, I think that pretty much covers it. But I think it was a case of the particular method of how I'm viewing these episodes is some time back I bought a whole DVD set of the entire series.
Okay.
And I finally finished the first disc. And double checking on the back, there's a particular episode coming up that's like, this episode's coming up and it's supposedly going to be fun. And it was released around a particular time. And it's like, is this going to match up with us or not too much?
I'm worried about what this episode is. Anyway,
You probably should, but also it might be fun, but we'll have to see.
okay. The next episode we'll be discussing is episode 7, The Crimson Biome. Um, there's gonna be pirates.
Ah, yes. Though I'm mildly surprised that this happened so soon. I'm remembering it fairly good, and there's particular stuff that happens within the series, but again, the first episode when they show up, I figured it would have been a little bit later.
Dave, there's gonna be pirates.
Yes, it's a thing that they decided to introduce within this series.
Oh dear God. Okay. I don't know if I should be excited or terrified, but we'll find out next time.
You should be fine.
Alrighty, so next time until next time, I'm Paul.
And I'm Dave.